It's 2025, and something strange is happening in the skies above America. The once bustling terminals of major U.S. airports are quieter than ever. International gates that used to see hundreds of flights a week are now sitting empty. Luggage belts are motionless, departure boards flash, cancelled more often than on time, and airport food courts, once packed with travelers speaking dozens of languages, now have empty chairs and idle staff wiping down tables with no one to serve. America is seeing a major reduction in international flights, leaving some airports eerily quiet and causing serious harm to cities that rely on these routes for tourism, trade, and business. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like. It really helps us bring you more deep dives into the forces reshaping our economy and global travel. Airlines are cutting international routes due to high costs, lower demand, staffing shortages, and political tensions, especially trade disputes and tariffs. With tight profit margins, even small drops in demand make costly routes unviable, and visa restrictions add to the decline. Airport number 1, New York JFK, losing European connections. JFK International has long been America's most iconic gateway to Europe. For decades, it connected New Yorkers to dozens of European cities, from major hubs like London and Paris to smaller but culturally rich destinations like Vienna, Copenhagen, and Lisbon. But in the last year, JFK has lost over a dozen direct European connections. The shift isn't just about cost, it's about changing travel patterns. With Europe's economy slowing and tensions over trade and tariffs rising, fewer Europeans are booking trips to the U.S. Airlines have responded by consolidating flights to only the most profitable routes. Now, travelers from smaller European cities must connect through other hubs, adding time and inconvenience, and often discouraging them from coming at all. For New York, this is bad news. European tourists are among the highest-spending visitors in the city. They fill Broadway shows, shop in Soho, dine at high-end restaurants, and book expensive hotels. With fewer direct flights, the city risks losing millions in tourism revenue each month. Even small percentage drops in visitor numbers can mean thousands of lost hospitality jobs. Airport number 2, Los Angeles LAX, Asia routes decline. Los Angeles International Airport has always been the beating heart of America's connection to the Asia-Pacific region. It's a hub for business travel, family visits, and a booming inbound tourism market from countries like Japan, South Korea, and China. But in 2025, LAX is seeing steep cuts to routes in Asia. Flights to cities like Osaka, Seoul, and Taipei have been scaled back or suspended altogether. Airlines cite weaker demand due to high ticket prices, reduced group travel from Asia, and lingering post-pandemic visa bottlenecks. Compounding the problem are trade tensions with China, which have spilled over into travel restrictions and cooling consumer interest in U.S. destinations. This has hit Los Angeles's tourism industry hard. Luxury retailers in Beverly Hills, tour bus operators in Hollywood, and even Disneyland have all reported a decline in international visitors. For LA's economy, which thrives on global connections, these lost routes represent not just empty airport gates but a slowdown in the city's cultural and economic lifeblood. Airport number 3, Chicago O'Hare, Latin America pullback. Chicago's O'Hare Airport serves as a key connection point between the U.S. and South America. But over the past year, flights to Buenos Aires, Santiago, and Lima have been reduced. The reasons are both economic and political. Higher fuel costs make long-haul South American routes more expensive to operate, and new visa complexities for travelers from certain Latin American countries have deterred tourism. This is particularly damaging for Chicago's large Latin American diaspora, many of whom rely on affordable direct flights to visit family. The reduced connectivity has also made it harder for Chicago businesses with ties to Latin America to maintain close relationships. Beyond business, it's the human element, the weddings missed, the family reunions delayed, that tells the real story of how these cuts are affecting communities. Airport number 4, Miami International, Caribbean and South American cuts. Miami is the U.S.'s main connection to the Caribbean and South America. For decades, it has been a bustling transit point, with flights to every major city in Latin America. But now, some of its most popular tourist routes are being reduced. Airlines have cut frequency on flights to Rio de Janeiro, Kingston, and Bogotá, citing both weaker demand and increasing operational costs. For Florida's hospitality sector, this is a double blow. Not only are there fewer foreign visitors arriving for vacations, but the state's cruise industry, already struggling, is losing out on passengers who would normally arrive via Miami International. The reduced traffic affects hotels, car rental agencies, and even the restaurants in Little Havana that depend heavily on tourists. Airport number 5, Dallas, Fort Worth, reduced European access. Dallas, Fort Worth International has spent years positioning itself as a hub for international business travel, particularly for corporate connections to Europe. But reduced flights to Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and Madrid are threatening that progress. Airport number 6, San Francisco International, tech capital impact. San Francisco's airport is the lifeline for Silicon Valley's tech industry, connecting executives and innovators to Asia's booming markets. But recent cuts to routes in secondary Asian cities have slowed business travel. Flights to cities like Shenzhen, Ho Chi Minh City, and Manila, critical for tech supply chain meetings, are disappearing from schedules. Hotels that once filled rooms with visiting tech teams are now seeing lower occupancy rates. This isn't just about tourism, it's about the slowing exchange of ideas, the reduced face-to-face collaboration, and the ripple effect on startups trying to expand into Asia. Airport number 7, Orlando International, theme park tourism hit. Orlando is one of the world's biggest tourist magnets, drawing millions each year to its theme parks. But with fewer flights from the UK, Brazil, and Argentina, foreign visitor numbers are dipping. British tourists, who once came in large family groups, are now facing higher ticket prices and longer routes with multiple layovers. For Disney World and Universal Studios, this means fewer high-spending international guests. For local hotels, it means empty rooms during what used to be peak season. The effect ripples outward, impacting taxi drivers, tour guides, and even the souvenir shops on International Drive. Airport number 8, Seattle-Tacoma, Pacific Rim shrinkage. Seattle-Tacoma International has always been a bridge between the US and the Pacific Rim. But with reduced flights to Sydney, Tokyo, and Shanghai, the city is losing valuable tourist and business traffic. Seattle's economy benefits heavily from Asia-based business investment, especially in tech and shipping. Fewer direct flights mean fewer in-person meetings, which in turn can slow trade negotiations and investment deals. Even the city's famous Pike Place market feels the pinch when tourist numbers drop. Airport number 9, Boston Logan, academic and medical travel decline. Boston's universities and hospitals attract thousands of international students and patients. But with fewer flights from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, it's harder for these travelers to get to the city. Some prospective students are choosing universities in Canada or Europe instead, simply because travel is easier. This has long-term consequences. International students bring significant tuition revenue, and medical tourists often spend heavily on local accommodations and services. The reduced routes could cost Boston millions annually in lost economic activity. Airport number 10, Denver International, emerging hub stalls. Denver has been marketing itself as a growing international hub, especially for ski tourism. Direct flights from London, Frankfurt, and Toronto have been key to attracting wealthy visitors to Colorado's ski resorts. But cuts to these routes are threatening that growth. Local businesses in mountain towns like Aspen and Vail are feeling the effects. Fewer European visitors mean fewer luxury bookings, fewer high-end restaurant reservations, and lower winter season revenues. The ripple effect on local economies. When an airport loses an international route, it's not just the airport that suffers. Hotels see fewer bookings, restaurants have fewer customers, and entire tourism ecosystems feel the strain. Taxi drivers, tour guides, and small business owners all depend on the steady flow of travelers. The tourism collapse also affects property values, especially in areas where vacation rentals are common. As demand falls, so does the money flowing into these communities. U.S. tariffs and trade policies are making America less appealing to visit, reflecting deeper shifts in its global economic standing and international relationships. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives. Tell me in the comments, have you noticed fewer flight options at your local airport, and do you think politics is to blame?